Someone dressed up as so-and-so, man. As an intruder. You know what, guys? That brings me up. Let me tell you some stories of when I used to work.
Looked like a heart attack.
At my security job.
That's unfortunate. However, we do at least know where the president is.
Damn, dude, show some sympathy, bro.
Here in this place?
Apparently. We're still looking into it.
Hurry up, man.
I've also been told that the nuclear strike was what the terrorists were after from the start, not the $30 billion.
Right. It was a cover-up all along.
Colonel, what are you keeping from me?
Yeah, dude.
I'm not keeping back anything. It's not as though I'm told.
You think he's believing you now?
I'm pulling in all the favors.
$30 billion. Let's be real, man. That's a little bit of a unrealistic number, man. But what would I know?
Right now.
I just think of Austin Powers. $1 billion, and everyone in the room was like, "Oh, not like that." That was horrible.
But the president
you get my drift.
Cooperating with them.
According to Ames, yes. But it's also true that they're about to get rid of the president. There's something else going on.
They're gonna off him?
And the president may be able to tell you what it is when you see him in person. Once they get the confirmation for nuclear launch, they'll do it. You need to rescue the president before then.
Execute Order 66.
I agree with the colonel. You need to protect the president for now.
Bitch, you ain't my boss. Alright, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story of, let me tell you some my days as when I was catching thieves from stealing, man. Let me just tell you one. So, I remember one, this was probably this past holiday, man. Holiday season. You know, obviously when it's almost coming to, when Christmas is super near, maybe be 3 days, 4 days from now, from that time frame. You know, you're gonna get traffic like a motherfucker, man. Traffic is through the roof, man, and that's when you got idiot shoppers. It's funny, right? You know, people, Christmas in general, the whole buying gifts thing, it's interesting, right? But anyway, that's I won't get into much with that. But yeah, that's when you think it's supposed to be a time where, like, you know, oh shit, he's like right here. Yeah, you're supposed to be thinking that's a time where you're thankful and appreciative or whatever, but dealing with these customers, man, it was complete opposite. And the next thing you know, they changed their persona once Christmas arrives. I'm like, man, you guys are fucking bozos. But shout out to the people that keep it real and, you know, remain true and don't really bug out when, you know, they can't get certain things for their loved ones and all that. And they understand, like, hey, it is what it is. It's a hot topic or a popular item or whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, so during this time, when I was catching thieves, this one person came in. This lady, she looked like she was 25, maybe 25 or so. So she came in and she had this bag. She had the company bag, and I'm like, okay, the job that I worked at, she had a bag with her and had a whatever item in there. I saw it and I was like, okay, cool, I see that. And then I greeted her. I was like, how you doing today? Blah 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 blah. She looked at me and she just kept walking, and I'm like, okay. It's just one of these signs that you know, man. And it's like basic. I mean, if you yourself are able to read people, or at least just like kind of know something's gonna be up, this is an easy thing to pick up. But in general, man, they kind of teach you these in training videos where it's like, all right, if you greet them and they just kind of give you this weird look, that's kind of tends to be a dead giveaway of like, all right, you should pay attention to who they are. Not always, but you just got to know. Sometimes people are just weird and they just do that. So with that being said, so I was watching, and then so when she did that, well, you know, she didn't say much. I asked her, I was like, hey, how you doing? Are you gonna be doing a return or what? And she goes, yeah, I'm doing a return. And I'm like, okay. But like, she's going the complete opposite direction of so-called doing a return. And I'm thinking there's a possibility, well, a lot of people tend to make this mistake. For some reason, you guys, all right, people that are listening, I'm not saying you're one of them, but educate some people, man. When you're doing a return, that means you're doing a full refund. That's you getting your money back. You don't give a fuck about grabbing a different product, aka an exchange. So a lot of people tend to make the mistake of, I'm doing a return. Oh wait, can I go get the item that I want that's different? And I'm like, so you're doing an exchange or a return? And I get annoyed with that, man. But I dealt with that so many times. So, and then they feel stupid, like, oh yeah, return. I mean, an exchange. So I'm like, fuck you guys. But anyway, so she said she wanted to do return, and I was like, okay. And then I saw her going away from the area that, you know, where returns are processed. She goes into a section for video games. And I'm watching this shit go down. I'm like, So I'm thinking, like I said, there's a possibility that she just mistook it as a return. Fuck, I missed a weapon. We're gonna backtrack it. Alright, with the power of editing, I had to backtrack. But anyway, so my story. So this lady goes into the gaming section and scoped her out. And again, it could be a possibility she wanted to do an exchange. So I'm watching everything go down. She looks at the Nintendo Switches. We had a bulk stack a little bit there. So she's checking it out, and I'm like, alright, let me just keep watching. She grabs one, and I'm trying to look at what's inside her bag, and it definitely was a product that we sell, and but it could be a disguise, man. It could be something. So, and the item that she had was like something that you use for television. I think it was like a cable, like to hide cables. So she had that shit. So I'm like, all right, so we sell this.
It's a mess here.
But then again, it could be a decoy. So, or just to kind of throw you off for any employee to be nearby.
If you break the beams,
so,
the Semtex will go off.
Yeah, break the beams.
I heard them
Cross
talking
streams,
about that.
cross
Target
beams,
the control units and
Ghostbusters.
destroy them. Make sure you don't shoot the
So I'm watching her,
Semtex.
and she grabs
units
one
look like?
switch,
Take a look with your
and
binoculars.
she's making her way towards the front, and I'm following her on the cameras. And the next thing you know, she just kind of goes into an area. She kind of ducks and
That's the
really
Semtex.
disappears from the camera. So I'm like, oh shit. And I try to have an employee head over there.
Must be the control unit.
And when she leaves the area, before an employee can get there, her hands are empty. There's no Nintendo Switch in her hand anymore. So I was like, oh, and I'm looking, I'm like, all right, I'm hoping that this one, you guys got to be careful. Make sure it stops. Otherwise, you're going to blow it up. Can't do that. Yep, that's what happens if you fuck up. It's hard. That one can be tricky. But
what's going on? Right.
All right, damn, dude. So her hands are empty, and then I have the people come through, and I asked them, I was like, "Yo," the employee that came by, I was like, "Hey, do you see a Nintendo Switch there?" And they were like, "Nah, we don't see anything." I'm like, "Word." All right, so she stole it. All right, so once they told me, yeah, it's not in there, I was like, all right, word. So she's got it in her possession, and at that point, I was like, all right, if she doesn't have it on her, then something's up. So then they scoped out the area a little bit more, and they bring up the spider wrap that was on the Switch. So I was like, oh, all right. Then I was on high alert, and I notified the team. I was like, yo, be on high alert with this person, but don't make it too obvious that that you're paying attention to this person that's stealing. So since I saw that they brought up the spider wrap. That's when I knew. I was like, all right, this person has a magnet on them. They know what they're doing. So once I saw that, I told people to back off. I was like, let me just catch her. I wanted to catch her again. I wanted to just get everything. So she went back to the Switch area again. She grabbed another one, and then there was too many customers for her to try to do something, so then she played dumb. She grabbed an employee like, oh, teach me about the Nintendo Switches and all that. And I was like, you fucking bitch. I was like, all right, whatever. So I told the employee, I was like, yo, just kind of wrap up the conversation. The person that's talking to you right now, they don't care about a Nintendo Switch. They're stealing. So wrap it up so you can head on about your business.
What about that Harrier?
So once that's all said and done, she goes into a section of the gaming area where she thought it was clear, but I got it on camera. She starts ripping out the switch, the what do you call it, the spider wraps off the switch, and not ripping it off. She's using a magnet.
How many hostages are
So
there?
that happened. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. So I'm like, yo, I'm pumped. I'm like, yo, I'm about to leave in like 30 minutes from my shift, so fuck that. Like, yo, you're making my day right now.
Sabotaged it. It can't come after
So
us
I
if it
watched her, I
can't get off
scoped
the
her out,
ground.
and I blocked the exit
We'll have
door
to make
because she was
trips.
coming up to the front, and you could tell right there she just wanted to leave and go with her bag, and be like, oh, I knew for a fact that when she was leaving, she was gonna be like, oh, they didn't have what I wanted. Or like she played dumb with the return, or she'll probably say something like, "Oh, I couldn't return that out of the return policy," even though that's a lie.
Hey, Raiden. Nice to meet you.
So what do you call it?
I'll talk to you later.
So I knew that was a lie. So she wanted to leave. You could tell right there. So she was gonna give me a bullshit excuse on leaving if I didn't stop her.
Who exactly is Pliskin and his
So
partner?
I know
I'm
what
blocking
you're
the door, and I
thinking.
have
It
I
keeps
have
coming
my
back to
supervisor
Shadow
on the cameras
Moses.
watching. I
And
have the
now
cameras
this
pointed
Otacon,
where everything's at.
AKA
So
Hal
she's watching on the
Emmerich,
cameras,
PhD, a Shadow
and then I'm
Moses survivor.
right at the exit door.
Rose?
Snake and
And
Otacon
I'm not
both
blocking the
became
exit door. I'm just
fugitives
right there.
after
I was
Shadow
making my
Moses
presence
wanted
known,
for
like,
acts
yo,
of terrorism.
I got you. And she knows I'm watching
Anti-Metal
her.
Gear
And she knows
Organization.
that something's
They
wrong.
sabotaged and
So
destroyed countless
she's
Metal
staying
Gear
up at the
units
front.
throughout
She's
the
pretending to
world.
look at
And
Nintendo
were
cards
responsible
or
for the
even
incident
other
2
gaming
years
cards.
ago
And
that
I'm like,
necessitated
come
the
on, man,
construction
stop
of the big
bullshitting.
shell.
Hurry up.
Snake
I was
and
like, I
his
was getting pissed. I'm like, yo,
partner
you're
are
killing. You're like, you're wasting
Jack,
my time
why
right
are
now.
you defending them?
So
I look back
shut
on
up,
what I've
Rose, you
done here
dumbass.
So far. And things like training
So
and sense
then
of
she
duty
asks an
alone
employee.
won't
She tries
get
to
you
come up
through
to
a
the front,
sneaking mission
asks
like
one of the
this.
managers that was
Jack, are
nearby,
you okay?
like near my
You need
security
something
section.
higher.
And
I
she's
can't
trying to
think of
like
the right
ask
word,
questions
but
or whatever, and
it
I'm
has to
like,
be
yo, you
pure
playing
will,
dumb. And I told my
backed
manager, I
up
was like, yo,
by-
that's her.
by
So just be
courage
aware.
or ideals or-
And then she
or
goes to the
something
front,
that.
like to the
I'd
registers.
stake my life on
And she
it.
has another
The
Nintendo
solid
Switch in her hand,
snake
so she
that
has a
saved
total of
Shadow
3 on
Moses
her.
couldn't
So
turn into a terrorist.
she has 2 in her
Maybe
bag
that's
and then
true.
1 in her
But they
hand.
went
So
down with
she's
that
bringing that
Titan 2
Nintendo
years
Switch towards the
ago.
register,
We even
and
recovered
she's waiting in
Snake's
line.
body.
And the
And then
DNA
next thing you
test
know, I'm
result
watching
on
her.
the
I'm
body
watching her. She
saved
knows I'm
him.
looking. I'm
Jack,
making eye
I know
contact
what
with
you're
her in
saying,
line.
But Snake is
And
dead. He can't
she
be
puts
here.
down the
Not
Nintendo
even
Switch.
as
She
this
leaves the
Dr.
line.
Hal
She puts
Emmerich.
down the Nintendo
But that
Switch,
also
but then she
means that
grabs
he
it,
can't be the
and then
terrorist
she makes the
leader behind
return.
This thing.
She makes the return, and then she goes to another employee at the that's a cashier. She gives them the Nintendo Switch. She's like, yeah, I'm not interested. So then now she comes up to leave, and I told my supervisor manager, like, look, you guys take care of the customers right here. I'm making my stop right here. So I stop her, and she looks at me all shook. She's like, I asked her, I was like, how you doing? I'm so-and-so. I do this with the company. I'm gonna make this easier or difficult for you. So I told her straight up, I was like, look, give me the Nintendo Switches that you got in your bag, and we're good to go. And she's like, I don't got anything. So I looked at her, I was like, miss, if you really want to play dumb, I'm more than happy to call, the cops, and we can play dumb with you. So it's up to you how you want to do this. I told her, I give these thieves an easy choice or a difficult choice, so it's up to them. I tell them straight up, I was like, I highly recommend that you don't, make it difficult, because it's gonna be your worst day ever.
Solid Snake. No, that is not Solid Snake.
So yeah, so she comes up, she's shook. Once you spot a thief and you stop them and they're shook, you already know they're willing to comply. So there's no to be extra about it. So, oh shit.
Don't say you've forgotten me, Snake.
You look just like Snake.
Snake.
Right, take cover. Stop impersonating him. Brother, I'm a whole different game from Liquid.
AKA George Sears.
best you can do, Snake.
But anyway, the thief complied.
Did I get it? We're in trouble. It's the Harrier. The world needs only one big boss. I'll drown you fools for interfering. Right. This is the Stinger missile launcher. The Kasaka can't stand up to the Harrier. You have to shoot the Harrier down.
Snake, we got company.
I'm counting on you. Use this! There's something coming up. That's Metal Gear! It's already active! They got my eye! Fab! Go! Ha! Hey, what's that? It's running on water. Raiden, you all right?
Yeah. How about you guys?
Barely managed, but we're all right.
The chopper?
We need some time for repairs.
Oh,
The president's all yours.
okay. Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you the Snake? They said you were dead.
No, not me. There are still too many things I need to do.
Snake, you're a legend, and that's why I need to ask you this.
Legend? A legend is nothing but fiction. Someone tells it, someone else remembers. Everybody passes it on.
I'm here because I was assigned to this mission, not because I want to. If I could, I'd be out of here in a second. How could you come back to all this? Why keep fighting?
There's something my best friend said to me once.
What?
We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at, but at least I always fought for what I believed in.
What about the DNA results from that body?
That was Liquid's body. He and Snake are identical on the genetic level.
Liquid?
A deception, for our own protection. We stole his frozen body from some organization. Kind of a hassle, though.
That's all there is to it.
Are you two really an NGO?
Insofar as we're a non-profit organization of civilians advocating a cause, yes. The cause happens to be the eradication of Metal Gear.
We work on our own, but it's a cause worth fighting for.
Why would you stick your neck out for something this risky?
That's the way I used to look at it 4 years ago. I was holed up in the middle of nowhere in Alaska, drinking too much.
We have a responsibility to the coming generations, to the world,
What responsibility?
to keep track of the mistakes we've made as a species.
We need to remember, to spread the word, to fight for change, and that's what keeps me alive.
You think you can change the future?
Nah, I'm not as arrogant as that.
What you do isn't grassroots activism. It's more like terrorism.
I admit that.
But our group, Philanthropy, received some information. A new Metal Gear prototype was being developed here, and terrorists were planning to raid the facility. The information came from a very reliable source.
So you're here to...
We're here to stop all that. But I also have a personal motive.
Looks like the terrorists have his sister in the big shell. We're here on our own, not under anyone's orders. We have our own battles. Otacon's here for someone. I'm not.
This is a military mission.
Jack, are you all right?
Just barely.
You almost gave me a heart attack.
Sorry, it wasn't intentional.
I know that, and I know I need to stay stronger.
Say a prayer for me, Rose, so I can come back.
You will make it back. I'm with you all the way, remember.
That means a lot to me, you know.
I'm going to save the data, okay, Jack?
Colonel, Metal Gear's already gone active.
It's not too late. You can still prevent a nuclear strike by securing the president and preventing password confirmation from taking place. Get to the president. He's in the core section of Shell 2.
I'm checking the satellite images. Looks like you can get to the core from the other side of Strut L.
The core hasn't gone under yet from what we can tell. Follow the railings down, then jump onto the pipes.
The only viable strut in the outer perimeter is the L. That attack just now doesn't make any sense. It's like they have no more use for this place.
Colonel, you were monitoring the codec calls. That man was the real Snake all along.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Don't let your guard down with him.
Why do you say that?
Because they were never a part of the simulation. They're an unknown factor.
You can take your simulation and... We're out here, we bleed, we die.
Calm down.
I suggest that you do, Raiden. Even if that is Snake. That has no bearing on your mission.
Colonel, you and Snake used to be on the same side. I don't understand. I read about you and Snake in the Darkness of Shadow Moses.
I don't give a damn what that piece of trash said. Do you get me?
Oh, look at this. If you guys don't get caught, like with the guy that I just got discovered, but I got him in time before he alerted me. Look at that. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's disgusting. And then if you call the colonel, this is what happens.
The enemy has already...
One more time. There you go.
Right, my sympathies. Sneaking missions are called wet works for a reason after all.
Don't worry about it, Jack. It's okay.
Is it?
That is, as long as you take a shower the second you get back. Do we have a deal?
Bet. So, yeah. As there's a term for that, but I'm not going to say it in this channel.
Olga, Snake, he's here. In Shell 1.
My father had some unfinished business with him.
Olga, calm yourself. We will not change the plan of your personal feelings.
Then screw your plan. And I will send him to the bottom of the ocean, right next to my old man.
The launch comes first.
I don't know what that shit is on the top right corner, if you guys see that.
Where's Ocelot?
Not here.
I don't trust him.
Don't talk that way about one of your own.
He's not one of my own. He left my father to die, remember?
Olga, we'll talk later. We need to get started on the final checks for the unit.
All right. I'm headed back there.
The upper connecting bridge to Shell 1 is down.
What about the chopper?
The cam-off is out of action. Take the oil fence from strut L.
I'll tell my men to start pulling out.
Not yet. Their retrieval comes last. The intruder's still at large.
Snake.
What about the other man?
He's got luck on his side, certainly.
He survived that explosion. Listen, Olga, the code confirmation is in 1 hour. Keep the president alive until then.
I know. No one gets in here. Turn the currents on.
Of course. High voltage currents on.
The door stays shut unless the president manages to take out that circuit panel from inside the room. And it's no job for bare hands.
All right. Come back immediately.
One more thing.
What?
We leave for Russia when this business is done. I want half the money for that.
Of course. That was part of the agreement.
We start living for ourselves after this. If there's anyone who wants to stay here, I want you to take good care of them.
Gladly. Gerlukovich soldiers are the cream of the crop.
It's time they went free.
What happened to yielding Mother Russia?
The old man is dead. The world is a different place now.
It's your life.
Just as a reminder, I'm going to say this again, one last time. Don't try anything on us.
The feeling is mutual.
I'm in front of the room where they're keeping the president.
Everything all right?
No sign of flooding, but I can't get close to the door. The floor is electrified.
Don't test it. You'll be bacon.
Any suggestions?
Remember the Shadow Moses VR training?
Take out the circuit panel?
Right.
But there's no way into the room.
Try ventilation ducts.
Yeah, I think I see one.
Look for a remote control missile launcher. You can guide it through the duct into the room.
Then target the circuit panel. Got it.
Right, but make sure you don't hit the president.
The president is wired with nanomachines. If we know the frequency, I can raise him.
We've tried that repeatedly, but there's no response. It looks like the walls have a built-in radio shield.
So that's why Ames lost contact with him.
If you need to confirm his position, you can log into the node.
Understood.
Locate a remote control missile launcher first.
And this is not my favorite segment for this swimming shit. So, let's go. Wait. Here's what you do, guys. And I never knew this. So, if you go in there guns blazing with the Nikita and you shoot it, once you have the Nikita missile in his room here, he's gonna see it and then he's gonna be like, "What are you doing? What are you?" He's gonna run around and go crazy, and you're gonna accidentally hit him. And when I say accident, I mean literally it's pure accident. You didn't mean to hit him, and he just gets in the way. So with that being said, knock on the wall, and when he walks his way there, he stays put there for a good couple, I'm gonna say a good minute time frame where you don't have to worry about speeding up too fast. But yeah. See, if you didn't have him there, he would run into you right here, and this is where you would hit him by accident. Funny how this is kind of resembling Metal Gear Solid, right?